Hello, ladies. My name is Dee-Dee Harris, and I guide women into a life where they are universally compensated, no job, no hustle. You get paid by your frequency. Now, this is the thing, ladies. If you're living out of alignment to who you are, if you're not doing things that light you up, if you are ignoring your truth, then getting paid to exist will not work for you. This is why, because your frequency cannot attract overflow if you keep abandoning parts of you that's meant to lead. And I'm going to say that again. Your frequency cannot attract overflow if you keep abandoning parts of you that's meant to lead. All right? So, when you stop abandoning yourself for safety, when you stop abandoning yourself for comfortability, when you stop abandoning yourself for things that keep you stuck, all right? So we're talking about things that keep you stuck when you're operating out of fear, all right? So when you stop abandoning yourself for safety, when you stop abandoning yourself for comfortability, when you stop abandoning yourself for things that keep you stuck, things that you're doing out of fear, that's when the money will start to flow in, all right? That's when the money will start to come in, okay? So you have to start living your most authentic self. You have to start living a life authentically, all right? So what does that look like? If you are doing things that does not align with who you are, if you are doing things that's not aligned to what makes you happy, then again, getting paid to exist is not going to work for you. All right? So you have to continuously choose abundance over fear. What does that mean? You have to follow your heart. You have to live a life of authenticity. You have to follow your heart. You have to follow your joy. You have to follow things that light you up. All right? You have to choose abundance over fear consistently. All right? At some point, you're going to have to take a leap of faith. At some point, you're going to have to take a leap of faith and choose abundance over fear. If you're not living a life in your most authentic, if you're not living in your truth, if you're not living authentically, if you're not following your heart, if you're not doing things that you love, if you're not in your purpose, then getting paid to exist is going to be a challenge for you. It's not going to work for you because your frequency cannot attract the overflow that you need. All right? Because you're not leading from your truth. You're leading from fear, and you're leading from things that keeps you comfortable, from things that keeps you safe, but those things keeps you stuck. All right? It keeps you stuck. So at some point, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to consistently choose abundance over fear no matter what it looks like. And this can be the scariest thing that you ever have to do. This can be the scariest thing that you ever have to do because it is going to lead you to your breakthrough, but it's going to be disguised as your rock bottom, as your downfall. This is why, because people, you are scared to face fear in its eyes. You're going to have to face fear in its eyes, right? And that is scary. That is scary. A lot of people know what they're meant to do. A lot of women have passions, but they're afraid of what people might say. They're afraid that it might not pay the bills, so they don't do it, so they stay stuck. Now, this, like I said, it's the scariest thing that you have to do, but it will lead you to your breakthrough, right? It's going to require you to have complete surrender. But let me tell you what's on the other side of this. It's a great reward. It's a great reward. On the other side of this is everything that you have been calling in. It's everything that you have been calling in. So if you fully want to be supported by life completely, you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to consistently stay in your frequency without no evidence, without no proof. You're going to have to take a leap of faith. You're going to have to choose yourself. You're going to have to choose abundance over fear, following your heart. All right? Because you have to show the universe that you're serious about what it is that you want this frequency, right? You want to get paid to exist, right? You want money to fall out of the sky, right? You want life you want life to admire you, right? To spoil you, right? You want men to adore you, like pay your bills without needing anything in return, right? You want the universe you want everything just to come to you with flow. You want money just to flow to you. You just want to get paid just by your existence, just by your being. All right? This life is for you, but it will come with conditions. It will come at a price, right? Because you're going to have to unplug. You're going to have to unplug from what you are conditioned to and what you are programmed to. Now, like I said, the reward is great. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be everything that you called in, everything that you're calling in. It's going to be there. But you're going to have to face fear in its eyes, all right? Like I said, it's going to be the scariest thing that you ever have to do, but that's where your breakthrough is, all right? That's where your breakthrough is. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about you're going to have to throw yourself into the unknown. There is no logic in the unknown. There is no proof in the unknown. There is no evidence in the unknown. All you have is your complete surrender. All you have is your faith, your knowing, and you have to stay in alignment to what it is you're breaking yourself into. You're breaking yourself into this frequency, right? So you're going to have to throw yourself in the unknown. What else, what does that completely mean? That means you're going to have to leave that job. Yes, I'm telling you, you're going to have to leave that job. You're going to have to continuously to choose abundance over fear. You have to understand who is your divine source. The reason why you're so afraid is because you put those things before who is your divine source. You put those things as your source, and they're not your source. So yes, I'm telling you, if you want if you want to live by your frequency, if you want to get universally compensated, if you want to get paid to exist, if you don't want to work, if you don't want to work, you want to get paid just by your existence. You want to get paid just by your pleasure, just by your beauty, just by you just being who you are, just by your frequency. You're going to have to leave that job. You're going to have to leave that relationship. Ladies, let me tell you something. I left 3 relationships. 1 relationship I left. I didn't even know who I was then, right? We were together 5 years. And the other 2, I knew who I was, and I didn't sleep with the other 2. And all 3 of them were full-blown providers for me. Paid everything, the rent, paid everything up. And I left those relationships because, 1, I know who my source is. 2, it wasn't in alignment to who I was anymore. Those relationships were not flowing as I couldn't be my authentic self in those relationships. Like I say, the first one, I didn't know who I was. I just left because, whatever. The other 2 relationships, I left and I had to go back paying my own bills and stuff, So those men were not my source. I know who my source is. So you're going to have to get out of that relationship. Trust me, I know I've done it. I've left relationships that they were the breadwinners and the providers of it, So you're going to have to leave your hometown. If you feel in your body that it's time for you to leave your hometown, but you don't because of fear, you're going to have to take a leap of faith. You're going to have to take a leap of faith. You're going to have to stare fear in its eyes, right? And like I said, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, it's scary, but you're going to have to continue to choose abundance no matter what the situation looks like. You cannot be 1 in and 1 foot out. You cannot have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You're going to have to consistently choose the frequency that you're in without no evidence. Without any evidence. So you're going to have to start living a life in your authenticity. If you are living a life that doesn't align to who you are and what makes you happy, then getting paid to exist will not work for you. You're going to have to fully and continuously choose abundance over fear. At some point, you're going to have to make a choice and take a leap of faith. You're going to have to throw yourself in the unknown. There's no logic there. There's no proof. There's no evidence. All you have is your knowing and your surrender. But you have to stay in alignment. You have to stay in this frequency. You have to continuously to choose abundance. That means continuously to choose your heart. What your soul really wants. No matter what the situation, no matter how bad it gets. I was there. You're looking at a woman that made it to the other side. You're looking at a woman that went homeless. Because I believed in what I believed in. I believed in getting paid to exist. I was not getting no job. I was not going back to the strip club. You're watching a woman who literally gets universally compensated that does not have a paycheck coming in. I do not have consistent income coming in. And this is my second home that I live in that I do not pay no rent. I didn't pay anything to move in, and I don't pay anything anymore. I've made it past that darkness, that unknown. I've made it through, and I made it through the other side. I went through the darkness. I went through, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I went through, I don't got nobody but God to lean on. I don't know how you gonna do this? I've been through all of that, and I made it on the other side. So if you're ready to have free cars, I'm talking about gifted cars, free homes, free cars, money just falling out of the sky for you. The life literally adores you and just pays you just by you, like money just coming in, abundance literally knocking at your door. You don't have to work. You don't have to hustle. You don't have to chase. You don't have to do none of that. This is a real frequency here. And you're looking at her. I live it. I've been living it a few years now. All right. This is how I guide women into a life of living universally compensated. All right. But you're going to have to take a leap of faith. Right. There's going to be a point. I'm telling you, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose. What are you going to choose? Are you going to continuously to abandon yourself for what feels comfortable, what feels safe? Or are you going to stand up for who you are and really take this life in? Really take this life, grab this life, and embody this life, because this life really is your birthright. As a feminine woman, we are not supposed to struggle. We are not supposed to work hard. Everything is supposed to flow to the feminine. If life is not flowing to you, if money is not flowing to you, then you're out of alignment. It's only a program. The program that you feel like you have to work to get money. You don't need money to do what it is that you need to do. The more you continue to focus on money to do what it is you need to do, you will always be chasing money. You want abundance. Abundance is a frequency, girl. Money is a byproduct of abundance. I live in a frequency of abundance. Anything I want, I get. Even if my bank account says zero. Even if my bank account says zero, I didn't have no money to move in these places. And I had this, my second one, I moved in for free. This is a frequency, and I'm teaching you ladies how to energetically align and attune yourself to this frequency. All right? So you're going to have to leave that job, girl. Yes, I'm telling you to do it. Throw yourself into the unknown. You're going to have to leave that relationship. If it's not aligned to who you are, how are you going to, because how do you want life to fully support you, but you're not living in your truth? You're not living in your truth. You're going to have to leave that hometown. If that's not where you are, I promise you, as soon as you see that, leave that hometown, you got to face fear in its eyes. As soon as you face it, watch, you leaving that hometown was the best decision that you ever made in your life. I promise you. This is how this frequency works. This is how this thing works. Before the breakthrough, right? You got to go through the downfall. You cannot build something new on an old foundation. That old foundation has to crumble. It has to fall. All right? And the only thing that's holding you back is fear. You're going to have to face it. You're going to have to face it. But I promise you, it's going to be everything that you ever asked for on the other side of this. The reward is great. The reward is great, but it's going to require you to have full surrender, complete full surrender. And you got to be 10 toes down in it. You got to be 10 toes down no matter what happens, no matter how bad it gets. So, I have a time frame for you. Spirit told me it's going to take you 4 months in the unknown, right? It's going to take you 4 months of you trusting. It's going to take you 4 months of not having no income, consistent income, and you not knowing how you're going to make it. It's going to take you 4 months to rewire your nervous system through every void, delay, and trigger. I'm reading off my notes because I didn't want to miss this. These are downloads. It's going to be 4 months of you rewiring your nervous system, of you going through the void, delay, and trigger. But this is the thing. It gets better. You're going to strengthen yourself. While you're in the unknown and you don't have no clue of what's happening, all you got is you and God. It's going to strengthen your trust. It's going to strengthen your belief. It's going to strengthen your knowing. It's going to strengthen you to literally walk this life without the consistent paycheck. It's going to strengthen you to be able to move in your passions without seeing any proof of not having no. It's going to strengthen you to be able to do that. Because I don't have consistent income coming in, right? I still have water bill, light bill, gas bill, cable, phone, food. I still have those things, but my nervous system is not my nervous system I just don't pay no rent or nothing, right? But my nervous system it's not dysregulated. My nervous system is very calm because I've been through the storm. I've been through the darkness. I made it through the unknown. So it's going to strengthen you. Okay, so you have 4 months of that. You have 4 months of not having any proof or having any evidence, all right, that this is actually working for you, that this is actually working. You're not going to have proof. You're not going to have evidence that this is actually working, but you still got to show up. You still have to show up. So let's do that again. It's going to be 4 months of you with your faith and you trusting God. It's going to take you 4 months in the unknown of you not knowing what's happening, not knowing how you're going to make it. It's going to take you 4 months of complete surrender. It's going to take you 4 months of not having no income, not knowing how you're going to make it. Your money going to look funny, right? It's going to take you 4 months to rewire your nervous system from being triggered, from being in the void, because you're going to be in a void. You're going to be scared. Your anxiety going to be on 10. But it's all a disguise. It's all a disguise because it leads you to your breakthrough. It's going to strengthen you. It's going to strengthen you to the point your nervous system will not be going crazy when you see all of these bills coming up, when you see all of these challenges coming up. You're going to be just as calm and just as collect because you know who your source is. You know who's your ultimate provider. You're going to get strong through this, all right? It's going to be 4 months of you not having no proof, not having no evidence that this is even working. That this is even working. But at the same time, you gotta keep showing up. You gotta stay in this frequency with the no evidence. You gotta stay in the unknown. You gotta stay grounded. You gotta stay in complete surrender. It's gonna take 4 months it's gonna take 4 months before you see your first miracle appear. It's gonna take 4 months before you see your first miracle appear. My first miracle appeared after I was homeless. I'm telling you, I used to have to wait at the grocery store parking lots, like Kroger or Walmart parking lots, waiting on somebody to send me money so I could pay for a room, me and my pets. We just sitting out. I didn't have a car. We're just sitting out. I have the leash. I have them just with me, and we're just waiting on somebody to pay me money so I can pay for a room for another night. I had 4 months, or however long it was, of me in and out of hotel rooms. Then I landed at a rooming house that I'm sharing a room with two other men. I had to go through that. All right? I had to be homeless. All right? So it's going to take you 4 months before you see your miracle appear. My first miracle appeared when I told you someone brought me a 2-bedroom townhouse, paid for me to move in, and paid up my rent for 12 months. That's how I knew I made it. That's how I knew I made it through. I never went back to the strip club. I never got no job. It was the scariest thing I ever had to do. But I made it. I made it. As soon as them 12 months was over, that person paid my rent up for 12 months with that 2-bedroom townhouse. That's when I moved here. And I'm still living in this frequency. I didn't pay anything to move in, and I don't pay any rent. God literally takes care of me. And I don't have to spend a dime on nothing. I'm literally just provided for. But I went through it. I went through the fire, and I stayed consistent. I stayed believing. Okay. So I just wanted to let you ladies know that there's light at the end of this. There's light at the end of this, but you're going to have to face fear in his face. And you're going to have to prove and show that God, show the universe that you're seriously, if you fully want to be supported by life, if you want life to adore you, if you want God to, when God provides for you, this is infinite. This is infinite ways of provision. Not just one way, not just from no paycheck, not just from no 9 to 5. This is infinite ways you are provided for and taken care of, where you don't have to do nothing. But it's gonna come at a cost. It's gonna come at a cost, but it's all worth it. It all was worth it in the end. Because I literally don't have to do nothing. I just get up and just be who I am. And anything I want is literally laid out for me. I promise you. I swear to you. So when you stop abandoning yourself for safety, when you stop abandoning yourself for things that keeps you comfortable, when you stop abandoning yourself for things that keeps you stuck, right? When you start living in your truth, start following your heart, right? That's when the money gonna flow in. That's when all the money gonna flow in, all right? So getting paid has nothing to do with hustle, but has everything to do with you following your heart and you following your passion. I teach this in my community. I have a paid community. It's $27 a month. Ladies, if you're really ready to tap into this frequency, if you're really ready to get paid by your frequency, join me in my community. Like I said, it's only $27 a month. You can click the link in the pinned comment section and come join and learn how to get in this frequency. All right? So also, if you're not ready to pay the $27, I also have a free community. If you want to be in alignment with me as I grow, as I evolve, as I continue to live my free abundant life, as I continue to get paid to exist, that energy will start to leak off to you. If you know anything about alignment, 5 millionaires, if you hang around them, you make number 6. Alignment is real. So as I grow, as I evolve, you will too. So I ask that if you come into my free community, that you engage. Please don't come in there and lurk. It is not about that. You have to come in there and engage, but it is a community where we move our bodies. We actually have a challenge, the winner, the best visual transformational challenge in their bodies, win $250 at the end of the month. So come on in and come win you some money. You still have time. All right. So those are my 2 options. You have my paid $27. You learn how to get paid to exist. Learn how to be in this frequency. I will teach you the step-by-step method on how to do this, how to live. You have to embody it. If you want free houses, free cars, if you want money to flow to you with ease, if you don't want to work ever, you don't want to work, you just get paid just by being you, right? If you want that type of life, I guide women into a life of universal compensation, period. I've been living it. I'm proof of it, that it works. All right? If you're not ready to pay the $27 a month for that, come into my free community, get in alignment with my frequency. All right? Anybody that gets in alignment with me, they always go to their next level. All right, ladies, I want to say thank you. All right, so if you have any questions for me, please leave it in the comment section. I just love your questions, and I'll see you ladies later.